Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our beautiful hotel. I'd like to first start by thanking Service Credit Union for this amazing opportunity, hosting us here and featuring our story, and inviting us for me to speak tonight. I do believe strongly that one of the ways we learn is through experience sharing, and it's an honor for me to be here today and share my journey with you. Quoted by the Globe and Mail and the PwC 2014 Family Business Survey, approximately 80% of businesses in Canada are family-owned. The number of family businesses run by women have grown 37% in the past 5 years. The average lifespan of a family-owned business is only 24 years. And perhaps the most quoted statistic in the world of family business is 30% of businesses make it to the second generation, 10 to 15 make it to the third, and only 3 to 5 make it to the fourth. I am proud to stand here before you today as a third-generation hotelier and second-generation leader of ZS Holdings. In 1983, 34 years ago, my mother and father founded ZS Holdings. The Z is my sister Zainal. She can't be here today. She's also been invited to speak tonight at a panel in Edmonton. And the S is myself, Shazma. My father, born and raised in Arusha, Tanzania, grew up in the hotel business, like myself. My family's experience provides a wealth of knowledge in this industry, and I am so grateful that I have their wisdom to lean on. Today, I would like to share with you 4 themes. Mindful decision-making, understand the environment that you can succeed in, set clear expectations, and critical connections. Mindful decision-making. My journey began by seeing, hearing, and feeling the hotel business at home. I imagined myself doing what my parents did, but I didn't know how, I didn't know when, or I didn't know why. As I started growing up, I found myself at a young age making decisions that led me down my career path. While studying my undergrad at the U of A, I applied to an exchange scholarship program, which I was given the opportunity to go anywhere in the world, covering my tuition and all my accommodation and travel costs. I decided to go to Guadalajara, Mexico, to learn Spanish. I couldn't go wrong with picking up a third language, so I left for 8 months. The culture shock hit me, not when I got there, but when I came home. I grew up. I had changed, but nothing around me had moved. The picture frame that I left on my nightstand was in the exact same spot when I came home. I had had an experience working outside the family business when I was 21, right before I left for Mexico. I did an internship with NISCUN and Conference Center in HR, where I met Deborah, the controller there. She told me that I had a spark about me and that hospitality is where I should be. I had always worked for the family business through high school and university, doing some odd jobs. And when I was 16, I worked for banquets in one of our properties, which my parents had built. It was called the Holiday Inn the Palace back then. In 1998, it was sold as a package deal with 2 of our other properties. Anyways, I show up to work late. I almost got fired by our banquet manager because my dad had dropped me to work late. And I was also told that if I did this again, it didn't matter who my parents were, that I would be fired. So at a young age, I realized my name didn't matter and that I would have to prove myself and earn the respect of others. Fast forwarding a few years down the road, joining the family business this time around was really different. It was an opportunity for me to start thinking about my career, and I was much more serious. I had to be very mindful of this decision of joining the business. This time I knew there was no turning back and I couldn't mess up. I was 22 years old when I sat down with my parents and I shared my vision. I wanted to be my own person in this business. I wanted to take the strong foundation and the principles that they built this business on and modernize it. And I wanted to join the family business to grow it. And I wasn't scared of hard work. I also knew it was going to be really difficult because my father, my mother, and myself, we all work very differently. But it didn't deter me. I remember my dad quoting Kemmons Wilson, the founder of Holiday Inn. He said, "In our business, you only have to work half a day. You pick either the first 12 hours or the last 12 hours." And I still joined. I just saw this as an amazing opportunity, and I knew that I would be really foolish if I didn't take it. I was in a fantastic position. I had this great foundation that was built, and I could continue to help them grow. If I was in a position that I was joining the business on a status quo level, I'm not sure that I would have joined. I knew our business was young in our growth trajectory, and I was one day going to be in a position to assist strategically in the growth of the business. Another mindful decision that led me to start my journey was that I had no sibling rivalry. When I told Zainal that I was going to join the business, she was the one who said, "Shazma, you have to do this. Every job that you've talked about in this business, you've loved, do this and build our family's equity." She was one of my biggest fans and she got me. So I picked up the phone and I called my boyfriend, who is now my husband, and I said, "I'm moving to Red Deer." We've now been together for 15 years and married for 11 with our two beautiful princesses, Rhea and Hannah. And I also formally then announced at my dad's 50th birthday that I would work for the family business. Although we had a head office in Edmonton, I would have been welcomed to set up there, I decided to move to Red Deer and truly learn the operations of our business and working with my team. At this time, we had 3 Holiday Inn hotels: Red Deer on Gates, which we still have, Rocky Mountain House, which we sold shortly after I joined, and the Holiday Inn full service in Hinton, which we currently still have as well. From the day that I started as an assistant guest services manager on Gates, I worked my way up in previous roles. It took me 12 years to grow into my role today as president, and I've been with the company for 15 years, and we have grown the company with only the Holiday Inn brand. Being mindful in decision-making is continuous in our everyday life amongst all of us in a personal environment as well as a professional environment. And it takes a lot of courage to leap into the choice you are contemplating. Which leads me to my second point, understanding the environment that you can succeed in. As an entrepreneur or as a leader, you really need to understand where you will flourish and equally where you will not. This became truly evident for me through my high school years and on to college, university, and finally while studying my MBA. I liked smaller environments. I knew that joining the family business was a small organization for me to succeed in. I would have been really lost had I started my career in a large corporate organization. However, taking our company through the growth from a 2-hotel organization with a mom-and-pop structure and leading it today as a corporate structure with 6 hotels and 1 in the pipeline was manageable to me. I gained my confidence over the years by working hands-on with every department and could clearly see the small changes that needed to be made. I also work closely with my mom's knowledge of the day-to-day operations and my dad's knowledge and ability to see the big picture. Although we may not always agree, we respectfully can disagree because our end is the same. Our end in mind is the same. We have the same goal. I continue to lead the company with small injections where change may be required, remembering the principles that the company was founded on and ensuring that the culture and environment enhances our success. In my opinion, this is what sets us apart with our competitors and will also keep our family legacy alive. If you understand the environment that you are successful in, it will also help you define your team. Surround yourself with people who have complementary strengths to you. My dad, the numbers guy, my mom, the guru of details, and myself, the influencer. My husband joined a year ago based on this principle as well. He has an extensive sales background in the automotive industry and now leads our business development team. He says it was a pretty easy transition. Different job, same boss. As an entrepreneur, you need to understand what specifically you can contribute to your business and the rest you hire out. There is a secret to this, however, which brings me to my third theme, setting clear expectations. I feel that this is the most significant area where change has occurred in ZS Holdings over the last 3 years since assuming my role. Being a smaller company, it required less strategic planning, and we could institute change relatively quickly with our team. Today, our hotels are in Red Deer, Hinton, and Edson, with our head office in Edmonton. So we are spread out, and we are more effective when expectations are clearly defined. However, it starts with me. I have to clearly define my role, the role of our C-suite, and then everyone else's. In family business, this often gets overlooked, and our roles are not determined. Allowing our managers to understand who is responsible ensures efficiency and success. In turn, we can set clear expectations for them and hold them accountable to their performance measures. Our industry is facing disruption, such as online travel agencies, Airbnb, and an increase in labor costs, just to name a few. And as we know, our economy is still struggling. We needed to have tighter processes and procedures in place. We needed to find ways to run leaner, and we needed to react quickly to market changes. This all needed to be accomplished by maintaining top guest satisfaction in a positive manner and ensuring retention of our employees remain high and ultimately satisfying the bottom line. Clearly defining my role to myself and to my team, I feel that my success is the ability to step out of the weeds of our business and have the right people in place to manage those weeds. As business owners, we have to have the ability to recognize that there is talent out there, and we need to develop it and we need to coach it. Sometimes we also need to be reminded that each person communicates, grows, and achieves differently. By setting clear expectations, we can also have a diverse team, and it makes for an exciting workplace. Clear expectations allows me to do what leaders do best: lead, influence, build, and develop. And my last theme, critical connections. It is essential that you establish your network. As an entrepreneur or as a leader, surround yourself with people and build your rapport with these selected groups. For ZS Holdings, my father recognized early on that a solid relationship with our financial institution was critical for success. Without the help, confidence, and trust of Service Credit Union, we would not have been able to grow. My father also consulted our experts, such as accountants and lawyers, for that expert advice. Thank you for coming. My mom recognized that building relationships with our brand, IHG, our employees, and our family is equally as important. And I was privy to all of this. I continue to cultivate these relationships and in my own way. As mentioned in the beginning, I was adamant that I wanted to earn my own respect in this industry and among my team. I ensured that all of our employees were supported, and even if it took working night audit shifts or moving mattresses, I did it. I did the graveyard shifts at one of our properties for several months when the labor crisis was present. And Jamil, my husband, would be my security guard on the weekends. That's the beauty of family business. Sometimes you get a little bit of free labor. So there are many managers and department heads who have been employed with us between 5 and 20 years, and we have earned the trust of one another. This is a family business with a corporate structure. I have to tell you, going back to my beginning, Deborah, who I met. So Monica, who's been our controller for 28 years, announced her retirement last year. We took a little bit of time finding a replacement, and Deborah applied for the position. When she found out it was me, she said, "My heart is with you. This is a critical connection. She is going to take us to the next level." I held board positions for Red Deer Tourism, AHLA, which is Alberta Hotel and Lodging Association, and served various board roles with the IHG Owners Association at both a national and Canadian level. With this work, I started an emerging leaders mentorship program that allowed young leaders of our industry in North America who are entering their family business in hospitality some support. I held a chair role for Holiday Inn, for the Owners Association for Canada, US, and Mexico, and today I'm the vice chair for the Canadian Owners Association for all IHG brands. ZS Holding is a proud winner of over 25 awards. We have won these in various categories and from different organizations. It gives us a lot of fulfillment to give back by supporting different charities and causes as well, in Alberta and outside. I also rely on my network of other entrepreneurs for advice. I know ultimately the decision is ours. However, gaining other people's perspectives, especially in a family business where we may all think alike, is necessary in order for us to diversify our thoughts. For myself, a huge critical connection is my family network, as they have supported me through my growth. I couldn't have done this without them. These are the people that are my rock. My mother, my mother-in-law, my father, my husband, and of course my 2 children. We have a little saying, don't we, girls, when the day is tough? What do we say? Charanias don't? Yeah, we don't give up. So finally, I'd like to circle back where my story began. I feel so grateful that at a young age of 22, it started with me really knowing what I wanted and what I didn't want. Everything flowed from that mindful decision. Knowing that I did want to work for our business put me on the path that I wanted and in an industry that I love. Then came my environment, setting of expectations, and enhancing relationships and connections. Once we make a decision that is good for us, everything falls into place. It may not be easy, it has its twists and turns, but you know inside that it's going to be okay. It's your North Star. You're continuing on the path of this because the decision just feels good. I am reminded of this quote by Yogi Berra, a professional baseball catcher, manager, and coach. If you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. So this is it. This is my story. I am where I want to be today, surrounded by the people and the industry that I love. As I look out at each of you, and tell you my story, my North Star was the mindful decision to join our family business. It's what gives me my direction and lets me survive my tough days. Everything else comes from that direction. That is the power of mindful decision making, available to all of us, no matter what your age is. Once again, I would like to thank Service Credit Union for allowing me this opportunity to share my story and having the confidence, true confidence in our business and helping us grow. I'd also like to thank all of you for coming. I know some of you have traveled, and I know that some of you have just squeezed this event in. So thank you very much for attending and listening to my story.